Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And this article comes from T-Mobile's newsroom. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So now that all the carriers' quarterly earnings have been released, and trust me, T-Mobile they watch AT&T's and vice versa. They all watch each other's quarterly earnings and they all look at each other's numbers for competitive reasons. But I think as we head into 2026 and we now have an understanding that Verizon is definitely going to compete differently in 2026, AT&T is very likely to have to compete differently in 2026. It kind of puts T-Mobile in the middle of a sandwich. All the growth in the industry, or majority of it, has gone to T-Mobile. So it's just natural that the competitors are going to target T-Mobile, where all the growth is going. And T-Mobile is not taking all its growth from Verizon and AT&T. They get some from each, yes, but they also get some from cable. They get some from prepaid. They get some from MVNOs. So T-Mobile dips in everyone's pot. But now there is a lot of competitive pressure on T-Mobile. And I wanted to put that in this video because a lot of people are still asking, how come T-Mobile stock is down so much? What's happening? What's going on? And there could be a multitude of reasons why that's happening. And again, I'm not a financial expert. But I can tell you one thing, a concern is competitive pressure. What pressures does that put onto T-Mobile's margins when AT&T and Verizon start firing back? And now that the roles are possibly reversed, when T-Mobile first started its Un-carrier movement and they were disruptive, for the most part, Verizon and AT&T really didn't respond much because T-Mobile just wasn't a scale competitor at the time, and they just did not have all the tools in the toolbox to really compete at the scale. So for the most part, there were some things that Verizon and AT&T implemented as a response, but for the most part, they kind of let T-Mobile do what they did, right? They never responded to binge on and all that other stuff, right? But now that the roles may be reversed, T-Mobile would have to immediately respond. In my view, they can't ignore Verizon and AT&T if they implemented strategies to specifically target and go after T-Mobile's growth. So it's up to the new CEO of T-Mobile, Srini Gopalan, to either be proactive or reactive. And for those of you who want to follow my X, I'll leave a link to it in the description. I put a poll up on X. You guys could check that out. And you guys can vote if you think he'll be proactive or reactive. Right now, T-Mobile has done a great job up until this point, and they will continue to do a good job. They have done a very great job at consistent messaging. I'll give them that. They're very good at marketing. They have a very strong brand. I feel T-Mobile will, with its brand where it is today, I think T-Mobile would do a better job with convergence. The market is converging, whether T-Mobile wants to believe it or not. AT&T is showing us it's converging. Verizon is going all out on convergence. So the market is converging. It'll be up to T-Mobile to figure out how they want to approach this in a more meaningful way. But again, T-Mobile has done a hell of a job with consistent messaging. The best network, it's everywhere. It's on the digital channels. If you guys are watching the World Series between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, it's there. And yes, I get it. T-Mobile and MLB, they have the partnership. But even on other channels, when you're watching an NBA game or an NFL game, T-Mobile's messaging has been very good, very consistent, and its brand is just strengthening. And as reality is matching the perception, T-Mobile is a beneficiary of this. So T-Mobile continues to pledge the Un-carrier. They continue to say they are today in a differentiating position. Well, we'll see if that's still the case in early 26. I think both Verizon and AT&T start early in the year. They're going to start with new planning, new go-to markets early in the year. I don't think we'll see much change from any of the carriers during the fourth quarter. I think they're going to let it play out as is. I think during this quarter, it happened every quarter so far, every fourth quarter, but they aggressively compete promotionally. And usually for the last 2 years, Verizon has competed the biggest in terms of acquisition. That's when they start Nintendo Switch, giving you that, giving the Xbox, giving this and that if you sign up for this. So that's been Verizon's play in the fourth quarter. So we'll see. We're getting closer to Black Friday and that holiday season. So we'll see who comes out ahead. But I don't foresee anyone making a huge change right now during this fourth quarter. So I think all of the carriers are just going to let it play out as is. But early next year, there's going to be a major shakeup in the way the carriers compete in 2026. I just want to see if T-Mobile is proactive on that or reactive. If they wait to let Verizon and AT&T release what they're going to do, and then T-Mobile bases its response off of that. It's very possible that happens. We'll see. We'll definitely stay tuned. But as it stands today, T-Mobile still grows the most. They still have a leg up on the competition, and they are continuing to strengthen its position, and the messaging is very, very consistent and strong. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.